Were you like me? Did you watch college football yesterday and think, this is the reason USC wanted to leave the Pac-12? Also, the Dodgers have reduced their magic number to 12, and former basketball player Nick Young has challenged his former Lakers teammate D'Angelo Russell to a boxing match. Gee, I wonder why. Good morning, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is Faithful Angelenos. It is September 4th, 2022. Please give a shout out to Cock Blocker the Cat making her annual appearance, a cameo on the clip. By the way, thanks to the new subscribers who joined in. If you like the content that we put out about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. It's Sunday. There's a God. I'm not him. So before we go through the news and notes from around LA, we'll take a quick look at the scoreboard. The Dodgers reduced their magic number to 12 by hitting 4 home runs. It was Dodgers 12, San Diego 1. Julio Urias improves to 15-7. Mookie Betts hit his career high 33rd home run of the year, and Will Smith drove in 4 runs. We posted a rapid recap last night that went through both USC and UCLA. If you go to their playlists on this channel, you'll be able to get it more in depth, but just know this. Caleb Williams was 19 of 22 for 249 yards. He threw 2 touchdown passes, both to Jordan Addison, USC 66, Rice 14. And over in Pasadena, Zach Charbonnet rushes for 110 yards and a touchdown. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, 298 yards. Passed for 2 touchdowns, rushed for 2 more touchdowns. UCLA 45, Bowling Green 17. Over at the Ravine this afternoon, Ryan Pepio is 2-2. He's going to lead the Dodgers against the Padres. Mike Clevenger 5-5. That's the ESPN game. Meanwhile, over in MLS, the Galaxy will play host to Sporting Kansas City at 5 o'clock. LA's longest unbeaten streak this year is 5 matches. They can tie that today. Also, LAFC will play RSL at 7:30. This is an important match for LAFC for 2 reasons. They're on a 3-match losing streak, and oh, by the way, they are tied with Philadelphia in the race for the Supporters' Shield. Now, we went through a lot when we talked about USC and UCLA and the rapid recap yesterday. Again, take a look at either USC or UCLA's playlist to check it out. But there were random thoughts that I missed out on because it was too rapid. So let's go through it then. The college football playoffs are expanding to 12 teams, perhaps as early as 2024. And I'm here to tell you, after week 1, in my opinion, USC is the Pac-12's only hope in the interim. And after that, no hope whatsoever. Look, Utah, they were ranked, they're going to take a tumble now. They wound up losing at Florida, an unranked team, 29-26. And of course, also up the I-95 in Georgia, the Bulldogs beat the hell out of Oregon 49-3. And these are supposedly the 2 Pac-12 leaders this year, Utah and Oregon. Not anymore. So USC to me is the equivalent of all those stories you would see in right-wing news outlets. Oh, people are leaving California in droves. Well, USC doesn't want to leave California. They just want to leave the West Coast way of running a sports conference. The Pac-12 is garbage overall. And why should it be on USC and UCLA to always rescue the Pac-12? It shouldn't. Oregon is nothing but a paper tiger. And besides that, if you know, the SEC is its own voting block with a bunch of hillbilly sports writers who are always arguing for 2 or 3 SEC teams to make the college football playoffs. Yeah, you've known this through history. So what chance now does Oregon or Utah really have? Even if Oregon or Utah runs the table, people are going to remember that. By the way, also for USC, they dropped 66 points. The Trojans never scored that many points during Clay Helton's era of melancholy. They hadn't scored that many points since 2008, after all. All this time when I was talking up the Trojans, on my channel, I was talking up Travis Dye as being a potential every down back. And that's probably not going to be the case. No back got more than 6 carries for USC. And oh, by the way, everybody is raving about Rayleigh Brown after his performance yesterday, with good reason. So it might not be Travis Dye after all. I was maybe a little harsh on UCLA yesterday, despite the lopsided win, because Bowling Green hung with them for an entire half. But on second thought, is it possible that UCLA has solved its defensive woes from last year? 10 of Bowling Green's points came on special teams miscues. Now, you need the special teams to play a role and play it effectively to keep your team competitive. But if you take those 10 points away, you're looking at a Bowling Green team that only scored 7 points against UCLA. UCLA's defense was terrible last year. Has it upped its game significantly? We don't know too much yet. It's only Bowling Green, but it is a thought. UCLA's offensive line, conversely, might have been exposed. Now, Thompson Robinson was only sacked twice yesterday, but he was constantly on the run. And quarterbacks need to set their feet before they throw. The Bruins have replaced both tackles from last season's team. And again, I acknowledge, though, this is Bowling Green. They shouldn't have got pressure on Dorian Thompson-Robinson at all. They have a month to figure it out before the Bruins face Utah. Finally, I did watch Arizona play San Diego State yesterday. My original question is, would the Chargers have left San Diego if Snapdragon Stadium was put up? But there was a second question that came up after the game was over. Is Arizona now a trap game? They don't stink. San Diego State is no slouch, and Arizona slapped them around pretty good. And USC has to play at Tucson this year. Potential trap game for the Trojans. Switching to baseball, prospect Miguel Vargas played left field for the first time in the majors on Saturday. Now, this matters to the Dodgers for more than one reason. We've been looking at him as the heir apparent to third baseman Justin Turner. After all, Turner is 37, and he's in a contract year. Could Vargas just slide in and play? But LA values versatility. If you look at the roster, Gavin Lux, he was supposed to come up as an infielder. He's played all over the outfield. Mookie Betts is an outfielder who has played infield this year. And Chris Taylor, hell, it wouldn't surprise me if you saw him behind home plate at one point, catching. So I guess in this tryout, they're trying to see if Miguel Vargas fits that mold of being able to play anywhere. Because Justin Turner can't, by the way. He's a third baseman. That's it. Relief pitcher Blake Trinan, meanwhile, believes in miracles, which is a lovely thought on a Sunday afternoon. That's what he called his comeback from a shoulder injury. He was supposed to have surgery on it, but it didn't happen. Instead, when they inspected that shoulder, they found out that the entire area was covered in scar tissue. Now, I work in healthcare, but I'm not a doctor. I had no idea scar tissue was that beneficial in terms of recovering from injury. But in his case, apparently it is. So he avoids surgery. He winds up getting cortisone shots instead. And basically that plus working out like a beast, and now he's back on the roster. He anticipates being effective down the stretch. We hope so. He was one of the game's most effective relievers last year. Former Laker Nick Young said he wants to get into a boxing ring with former LA teammate D'Angelo Russell. No kidding. Now, for those of you who missed out on that era of woe when Nick Young was playing for the Lakers, it goes like this. D'Angelo Russell, he's not even drinking age yet. He's a professional now, barely out of school. And he and Nick Young were great friends. The guy has his FaceTime going. He's recording conversations with Nick Young. And Nick Young confesses that he cheated on his girlfriend, pop star Iggy Azalea, who I had never heard of before, nor have I heard of since. Doesn't matter. The Igster sees the clip. She doesn't want to get cheated on. She drops Nick Young like a bad habit. And of course, those two great friends became the bitterest of enemies, split the Laker locker room. They weren't that good anyway. So now he wants the guy in a boxing ring. I didn't want to see Nick Young on a basketball court. What makes anybody think I want to see Nick Young in a boxing ring? Right? I don't want to see a D'Angelo Russell in a basketball court either. Last I saw him, he had a stupid haircut and was chucking up air balls for the T-Wolves. Why do I want to see him in a boxing ring? I admit it would be kind of amusing to see Iggy Azalea singing the national anthem before that boxing match, but the only person who wants to see that boxing match would be Nate Robinson. Trust me, put the words Nate Robinson in on YouTube, you'll find out why that's hilarious. And I have to go a little bit further on this. Celebrities are constantly challenging each other to boxing matches, and we don't need any of them. They had a show called Celebrity Boxing. Only one person in any of the matches only takes it seriously, and it's a quick knockout. They put Screech from Saved by the Bell in a celebrity boxing match versus the guy who played Horseshack on Welcome Back, Kotter. Why? So that way Fox News could scream nerd fight into the mic as loud as they could. And what happened? Screech just basically beat the living hell out of Horseshack for no reason. It was literally like Screech was sitting there trying to take revenge for Zach Morris having a one-night stand with Lisa Turtle. Nobody needed to see any of that. And did it matter? Of course not, because Screech wound up dying anyway. Do we really need to see any more celebrity boxing matches? I would argue no. What we really need to see is D-list celebrity torture chamber. What I want to see is both Nick Young, D'Angelo Russell tied down against the wall, and then have Shaquille O'Neal come in and just wail on them both for 3 minutes until all of their internal organs get liquefied and we don't have to hear about Swaggy P ever again in our lives. Just a thought. I'm going to post a preview for the Rams game, season opener against Buffalo a little later this week, but I just want to put one thought in your head. It's an undeveloped one. But we still don't know who the third wide receiver is going to be. I would presume it's going to be Ben Skowronek. Now, that guy, unfortunately, drops passes. But unlike Tutu Atwell, Ben Skowronek is an absolute beast in blocking. And the Rams only have 2 tight ends. So they're going to need the additional blocking to try to open up running lanes for Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson Jr., etc. The Rams kept 8 wide receivers, too, I might add, on their roster, which is impressive because it leads me to believe that we're going to see wrinkles in the Rams' offensive setup that we haven't seen from Sean McVay before. For all we know, they might break out with a run-and-shoot offense. There are so many wide receivers. Are they starting to say we trust our wide receivers blocking so much that maybe tight end isn't that important? You tell me. Just a thought we're going to have to see if it comes to fruition on Thursday. Now, if you enjoyed this clip, don't forget to like and subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We are trying to build something here for LA Sports. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corta El Queso production. Take care.